I was in a Brad Pitt movie, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. When I went to apply for the movie to be an extra, the first I heard about it was on the radio. It says, if you have a beard, if you're a male, come to, or actually no, they didn't say men because they needed both men and women, but they said if you're a man with a beard or if you're a woman with long hair, I think they wanted, come to the Edmonton Inn to apply. I went there. The lineup was completely around the hotel 3 times. I counted how many people were in a 10-foot space. And I estimated that there was 30,000 people in line. I got into line in the morning. It was 12 degrees centigrade and I had nothing on but a t-shirt. I stood in line for a total of 10 hours. Now, during that 10 hours, there were several fights that broke out because people were accusing other people of jumping in line. The cops were called. The cops were circling the lineup. I spent so many hours in line with the same people. I got to know them a little bit. And I was freezing cold. And I said, look, and they were cold too because they weren't dressed. This was a summer day, and we didn't expect it to be so cold. It never warmed up. So I told my group, I said, look, I'm parked across the parking lot over there. I'm going to go get my car, which was a little Nissan Sentra Classic. I'm going to bring it over because I noticed a parking stall right close to us. I said, I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to run the engine and warm us up so each of us can warm up one at a time. So I did that. My group let me back in. I started the car and warmed us up. I was warm the whole time, and I said one person would warm up and said, okay, go get the next person. They can come warm up. So we all warmed each other up. And then I turned off the car. Then I went back in line because the line was moving and we were slowly getting further and further from my car. So we weren't even in the building yet. We were so hungry. I said, does somebody have a cell phone? I'm going to order pizza. So someone loaned me their cell phone. I ordered pizza, and the pizza never came after, I think it was another hour and a half. So I called the place back, and they said, well, see, they don't deliver to a lineup. They deliver to an address. So then they explained that our pizza was brought back to the place, Pizza Hut, because the driver went to the front door, couldn't find us. Well, of course not. There's, around that door, front door, there's probably, we weren't going in the front door. We were going in a side door. And at the front door, there was probably 1,000 people trying to get in. I didn't realize there was 2 separate lines merging inside the building. So I said, bring it out again. I'll meet you at the front. I described what I was wearing. So I told my group, I said, I'm going to go get the pizza. And I ordered a bunch of pizza. I think it was 3 larges. So I went to the front. I met up with the driver, paid him, got our cold pizza, and I took it back to the group. So I opened them up one at a time. Everybody grabbed in our little group. And I said, they said, do you want us to pay you back? I said, yeah, donate what you can. And if you can't afford it, then just take a piece. And then there was a couple people behind us saw what was going on, and they said, hey, can I get it in on that deal? And I said, sure. So we kept opening pizza because everybody around us in our little group was fed. And I put all the money that was donated into my pocket, got rid of the pizza boxes. Now, I'm just going to skip to the end of the story to finish up that section of the story. After I got home, I pulled out the money from my pocket, and we had all just done this at random amounts of donations. I paid for the whole pizza myself on my credit card to begin with, but all the random donations from random people added up to within a dime of what I had paid, and including my own payment. So we each paid something like $2 or whatever. It ended up being within a dime of what the pizza cost. That's freaky. Anyway, back to the being in lines. We finished our pizza. I realized I have to go. 10 hours is long enough to stand in line. And then I heard through the grapevine that you could go, if you had to go, you could go up to the lady handing out the application forms at the front. Now, if you stayed in line, you got into the meeting room, and they would fill out the form for you, and they'd take a picture of you and do all this sign-up process for you. If you left, you could maybe get a form and fill it out on your own later. So I said, I'm going to chance it. Some of the guys had left, gave up 10 hours of waiting in line to just leave. And then when I popped out of line and I'm walking towards the meeting room, I realized there's no way that any of my group is going to make it into that room. I got up to the entranceway of the room, and I noticed that there's a lady with forms, and she had like 5 left. I went up to her, I said, I have to leave because I have to pick up my kid or something like that. I made up a story, so it was kind of halfway true. I gave her a sob story that I had to leave. She gave me a form. The form was the key to everything. That's all we were standing in line for, was the form at this point. Originally, it was to process people, have a look at them, take a picture in the meeting room. But there were so many people that showed up, they were just overwhelmed. So she gave me a form, one of the last 4 or so forms that she had in her hand. I said, thank you very much. I'm walking out to my car to drive home to fill out the form on my own. I realized that I had just acted and I just got paid. I was halfway pretending that I had to leave. Well, I did have to leave. But the reason I had to leave, I was acting about. And the payment was the little form. That was the chance, right? So I got home. And now I was in computers at this time. My computer career was underway, well underway. So I had a computer at home. I had a printer, a scanner. So I scanned the form. I got rid of all the little black dots because it had been copied and copied and copied. And I straightened out the lines because they were kind of crooked and missing pieces. And then in the most beautiful large blue font on a black form, I put all the information, and I had a photograph of myself, which I was able to put on the form and scan the whole thing. So the whole form was all one piece of paper, but it had my photograph and all my information in blue. And that would stand out because everyone who had gone into the room had a photograph stapled to the form, and it was handwritten out. It was like really ugly. So I mailed it. Oh, and I didn't fold it. I put it in a giant-sized envelope and sent it off, so it wouldn't have to be folded. So I ended up sending the form to it was called the Casting Call company in Calgary, and I got a call. Just almost a year, like nine months later or so, I got a phone call at my home office. I picked up, it says casting call. That was the ID on the number. I picked up, are you Kevin Morris? I said, yeah. And he said, did you apply for a movie to be a part of a movie? I said, yes. Okay, well, be at Fort Edmonton Park next Thursday and Friday between these hours and these hours. You're going to be in the movie as an extra. I said, yes. I hung up the phone. I told my friends who were sitting with me at the time, said, I'm going to be in a Brad Pitt movie. They'd get, no way, are you going to be in a Brad Pitt movie? I said, yeah, they just called. I'm going to be an extra. Watch for part 2.